Yes, a very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. Warmly welcome to News Tonight. This 10th day of March 2025. We'll start with a look at the top stories. NRM senior leaders rally support for Hajat Farid and Nambi in Kawempe North. Police deploys in Kawempe to prevent election-related skirmishes. 12,580 uncollected passports set for destruction. While youth urged to embrace sports for physical, social, and economic development. We thank you so much for joining in. My name is Micheal Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni is already here to translate to sign language, and here we go. Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, Anita Mong, has stressed the need for African countries to take the lead in fostering peace within the continent. She commended African leaders for strengthening ties of unity and cooperation. Mong was speaking to a delegation of members of Parliamentary Forum from the Great Lakes region led by Zambian Speaker of Parliament Nelly Butete, who paid a courtesy call to the Ugandan Parliament. Speaker Butete noted that their visit to Uganda is part of a fact-finding mission on peace and security in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, emphasizing that peace is a precursor to development.
To pursuing peace in the region. As Africans, we've always agreed in all the fora where we are and wherever we meet that African problems can only be solved locally. They need local solutions. And this pursuit that you're doing, moving from one country to the other country, meeting the heads of state in terms of how best can we get peace in the country, especially in those countries that are disturbed, is a very good initiative. And that heart of reconciliation. We may be having everything, we have gold, we have all kinds of minerals, but when we don't have peace in the country, we don't have security, we are nobody. And it is us ourselves who should be able to bring peace and security in our countries. Nobody should come somewhere to say, we make a trade-off. Let me give you something and I create peace. Peace can only be created by ourselves, which we should be doing it, and we must do it as Africa.
Interact, even this regional integration cannot prosper. We say peace is a precursor to development. So without peace we cannot develop, and we don't want to invite strangers to come and intervene in our affairs when we have responsible leaders in our presidents who can be able to take charge and take the responsibility to guide the other citizens in all the countries to ensure that we have peace and stability in the region. Went to Namgogo, very, very inspiring, and we believe that, when a country is anchored on a religion, whether it is Christianity or Muslim, people live together in harmony with each other because they know ultimately there is a God out there who is looking after us, all of us, to ensure that we live in peace and harmony. Because without peace, the women and the children are the ones who suffer most. So we need to maintain that peace.
The Speaker of Parliament from Uganda and her counterpart from Zambia. The Ministry of Internal Affairs has destroyed 158,000 older version passport booklets. Simon Mundei, the ministry spokesperson, says that the passports were not collected for many years despite constant announcements. We have details.
The destruction of 158,000 passports by the Ministry of Internal Affairs follows the transition from the old version of passport booklets to electronic passports. The ministry first rendered these passports invalid upon failure by the applicants to collect them.
These are our Ugandans. They came out, they responded, they applied for these passports, they paid for them, but they could not pick these passports. So what would we do? We have been calling out. We don't have where to keep these passports, so we went ahead and destroyed 158,000.
The destroyed passports are worth 39.5 Ugandan billion shillings.
Without URA receiving the money, the passport system cannot proceed. So just to know that these passports cost 39.5 billion that have gone to waste for people who have either failed to pick their passport or utterly refused to pick their passport.
According to the ministry, another bunch of uncollected electronic passports, totaling to 12,580, are in the backlog of the ministry,
which are lying in our stores. These were between the year 2018 up to now. We have called out the applicants, we have sent messages, we have talked about these passports. We cannot, of course, publish these passports because of the privacy law prevailing.
In addition to the backlog, the Internal Affairs Ministry also has at least 60,000 passports returned by labor export companies.
They are still valid, and we have them. We call upon all Ugandans who were not able to travel abroad for Cheo to come and check on these passports. If yours falls in there, please, we actually return it to you free of charge.
On several occasions, the Ministry of Internal Affairs has come out to call the public to pick their passports with intention to minimize backlog. Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC.
6 suspects from FDC Katonga faction who are on charges of public nuisance have been released on a non-cash bail of 500,000 shillings each and sureties 1 million shillings non-cash. The case is before Magistrate Winnie Nancha Jatiko. Meanwhile, the hearing of the murder case of businessman Henry Katanga at High Court Criminal Division flops due to the absence of the court assessors.
The accused persons include Deputy Kampala Lord Mayor Doreen Nyanjura, Ingrid Tulinawe, businesswoman Fiona Kabayizi, Farida Nangonzi, and businesswoman Shadia Namubiru. Before Magistrate Winnie Nancha Jatiko, the 6 are facing charges of public nuisance, which offense they all pleaded not guilty to. The accused were advised by court to change their dress code during the last court sitting. They presented 2 to 3 sureties to be released on bail, although their prayers were objected by the prosecution, led by Alani Muchunguzi. After listening to both sides' submissions, Magistrate Winnie Nancha Jatiko was pleased and granted the accused bail of 500,000 shillings each and sureties 1 million non-cash.
The submissions of both the defense and prosecution have been heard, the presumption of innocence being paramount, coupled with the fact that the offense for which the accused persons are being charged is bailable. All accused persons have fixed places of abode known to the sureties, who include relatives and long-term friends. The accused persons are granted a non-cash bail in the sum of Uganda shillings 500,000. The sureties having been found to be substantial, the sureties are further each bonded a sum of Uganda shillings 1 million. Hearing of this case shall commence on the 23rd of April 2025.
Meanwhile, the hearing of the murder case of businessman Henry Katanga at High Court Criminal Division in Kampala flops, following the absence of the assessors in this case. The murder case of businessman Henry Katanga is against the widow to the deceased, Mole Katanga, Their two daughters, Martha Nkwanza, Patricia Kakwanza, Georgia Amanyire, medical practitioner, and Otai Charise Shamba Boy at the deceased's home. The case was presided over by High Court Registrar Salim Godfrey Ngobi on the behalf of Judge Comfort Rosette Kania, who adjourned the case to 11th March 2025 when the case resumed for further hearing. Mole Katanga was further remanded to Ruzula Government Prison and the co-accused's bail was extended. So far, 13 witnesses have testified in this court. In another development, the hearing of the aggravated robbery case against Charles Oruma alias Sipapa and the girlfriend Shamila Lukia Nachimba Frops at High Court Criminal Division in Kampala. Following the absence of the witness in court, the case was adjourned to 12th March 2025, and the accused were further remanded to Ruzila Government Prison. So far, 13 witnesses have testified in this case. Meanwhile, High Court Criminal Division in Kampala has adjourned the murder case of Susan Magara Sandai following the absence of the trial judge Alex Ajij. The accused persons in the murder case of Susan Magara include Yusuf Lubega, Hussein Waswa, Muzamiru Sali, Hassan Katomiro, Abasi Buwembo, Mahadi Kisaliita, Abubeka Chewolia, Ismail Bukenya, and Hajaran Nakandi. The accused last week started their defense, with the case suspect Lubega Yusuf testifying in court. Susan Magara was murdered on 7th February 2018, following her kidnap from her home in Lungu, Kampala suburb. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansuga, UBC News.
Now, as political tensions heighten ahead of the Kawempe North by-election, State Minister for Kampala, Kabuye Fatogabye, has intensified his campaign efforts through a door-to-door mobilization drive in Kanyanya's Sebagala and Kanyanya zones. While engaging with residents, Fatogabye urged voters to support the ruling NRM candidate and consider a change in leadership after over 2 decades of opposition dominance in the constituency.
State Minister for Kampala Capital City Authority Affairs, Kabuye Fatogabye, has emphasized the need for fresh leadership in Kawempe North that aligns with government development programs.
That it is now their noble duty this time round to try NRM, because we've seen for the last 30 years where the area has predominantly been represented by opposition, but people are still crying the same problems which other areas have stopped crying for. So I reminded the people here to try and test NRM so that they can open up the floodgates of blessing into their areas.
However, residents raised concerns about poor hygiene and their struggles to access government programs designed to uplift communities.
Kuba kati ekibiina kyaffe kino kitera okukola ku mikolo tugenda ne tufumba naye tetulina bintu bikozesebwa twesanga tubipangisizza ng'akasente ke tufunye katono ate mupangisuddeko ebintu bye mwapangisizza tugenda okumaliriza ng'obutuufu tusigazzaawo kitono. Kale tubadde tusaba batukolereyo ekyo batusindikemuuko akasente ako tusobole okugula amasefuliya, tusobole okugula amasowaani, tusobole okugula obutebe tubeere nga tuba tugenza okukola.
Many expressed frustration over uncollected garbage, inadequate drainage systems, and the lack of support for small businesses.
Birimu ebintu bibiri. Nze zo babuuzaako nga minisita wammwe atwala ekibuga. Mukimanyi mwali muwuliddeko Kabuye Kyofa? Ngera mumanyi nti minisita omubeezi atwala ki? Kampala. Kati ekyokubiri tulondoola emirimu egyo. Ekyokusatu nakubazzaamu ssuubi n'amaanyi nti Nakaweya temweraliikirira ssente zigenda kukola ki? Zigenda kujja Amiina. Naye entandikwa tubadde na miliyoni 10 muli amaka mitwalo 2 ageetaaga ki? So kati sisuubidde nti buli omu asobola okuba nga azifunye. Kwe kubasaba nti ffenna kati ssaawa eno tuli mu kulonda era tubuzayo ennaku nga meka. Kati waki mbasaba mugende mukwane NRM. Tonoonya Farida oba Nambi ayinza okukwata kufaananira bulungi nga Nakaweya badde oyagala olabe kisajja nganzi.
Fatogabye reassured them of the government's commitment to improving service delivery and urged them to support the NRM in the upcoming by-election.
Where some people are saying government has really done a lot in setting up these social amenities, especially schools and other things. But it looks like the fees is still a problem. That schools are charging various fees, various amounts, which cannot enable them to do exactly or to educate their children.
His campaign efforts come ahead of President Museveni's scheduled visit to Kawempe North to further energize the ruling party's push for the parliamentary seat. The by-election has garnered significant attention, with multiple candidates seeking to end the opposition's long-standing control over the constituency. As election day approaches, all eyes remain on Kawempe North, where residents are weighing their options in a contest that could reshape the constituency's political landscape. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Still about Kawempe North by-election, campaigns have gained momentum, with the top-ranking officials from the ruling NRM rallying support for their candidate, Hajat Farida Nambi. NRM's Vice Chairperson Haji Moses Chigongo, Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, Amos Nzaire, a brother to President Yoweri Museveni, and Minister for Kampala Hajat Minsa Kavanda have all been actively engaging with the electorate to bolster Nambi's campaign.
National Resistance Movement National Vice Chairperson Haji Moses Chigongo, Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, and President Yoweri Museveni's young brother Cedric Nzeire have this Monday campaigned for the NRM flag bearer for ongoing Kawempe North by-election.
Ate kweyisa obulungi n'okurespectinga buli muntu yenna. Era kyobola Nambi akola buli kintu kyonna waliwo kibisobola kukulema kukola. Taze kwagala kutuula mu ntebe abeerawo bw'asirikirawo, nedda. Mufunye omuntu omukozi alowooza ku bantu.
Speaking at Sena Gardens in Kawempe, Haji Chigongo assured residents that the election of Nambi would resolve many of the pressing issues affecting the constituency. He emphasized the importance of electing representatives affiliated with the ruling party for enhanced service delivery.
Abantu be Kawempe North muludde wejjo obutalonda movement. Abantu bajja kubatwala ebintu ate bunyiige ate nga bwina mutuwa omuntu adabijjayo abibatuuseeko.
Prime Minister Robin Nabanja also addressed the rally and encouraged residents to focus on development to uplift the community. Nabanja warned residents against self-seeking politicians and focus on leaders who prioritize development and the well-being of Kawempe residents. Cedric Nzeire, brother to President Museveni, also participated in the mobilization efforts, further strengthening the NRM's position in the area.
My sister Farida Nambi era Tirusua kulokuna akaruru Farida genda karya kubanga NRM byekoze birabika suworokoso school radio fetukola wansi era president abadde mu gwanga lyonna ngalaba PDM engeri gyekora ye manifesto gyotwakola n'abana Uganda so lwaleero tuze wano kwasaba akaruru.
Hajat Farida Nambi, the NRM flag bearer, urged the electorate to place their trust in her leadership, promising effective service delivery and a commitment to addressing local challenges.
nambi olw'okubanza siri mujja wa gavumenti, siri mukazi mujja owa gavumenti, ngendayo kuteesa ekitali ku bannange abagendayo okuzoganya sikwewaawo. Ako nno kankizo era kanjawulira ddala ku babaka abalala abakoze eki abeesimbyewo. Muwe NRM tumaze emyaka 2 n'omusobyo nga situfuna member of parliament wano mu Kawempe North owa NRM. Bannange bani abanaalonda Nambi muwanike ku mikono. Kati ako tukamaze naye ng'era njagala kufukamira okubasaba akalulu. Bannange tufukamidde mutuwe akalulu ka NRM. Buli bw'olaba basi tiikinga. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala okumpuliriza.
President Museveni is expected to visit Kawempe North tomorrow, Tuesday, to further boost the campaign efforts. The by-election is scheduled for Thursday, and the NRM is pulling all the stops to ensure victory for their candidate, Sudat Kaye. UBC News.
Still in Kawempe, the Secretary General of the FDC, that is Nathan Nandala Mafabi, also camped there on Monday to rally support for their party's candidate Sadat Muchibi, popularly known as Khalifa Aganaga. Mafabi expressed confidence in their chances of winning the election, provided the elections are free and fair. Philip Aguta was on the ground and has this.
The Forum for Democratic Change candidate Sadat Muchibi for Kawempe North by-election has officially launched his campaign with a door-to-door mobilization drive followed by several mini rallies before addressing a major one at Mbogo Playground in the evening. During his campaign in Chikaya Parish, Kawempe Division, Khalifa Aganaga engaged with the residents. He was accompanied by FDC Secretary General Nandala Mafabi and Deputy Treasurer Wilberforce Chambade. Both leaders said the warm reception from Kawempe voters signaled a strong chance for an FDC victory.
They have done a tremendous job and we really thank them. Of course, being there with the colleagues like Chambade, Katinte, Kasozi, those are members of parliament, so it's very good and I can tell you we are excited. And our chances of winning are so high and we are very sure we are going to win this election unless there's rigging. But if it's free and fair, we are going to win.
And they've been welcoming him. He's one candidate who rhymes with the population of Kawempe. There are other candidates who have come. Others have bought even houses here in the last 3 weeks, and they are candidates because they wanted to present themselves for the parliament, for representation, for representing Kawempe North. But our candidate was welcomed everywhere we've been, and he has overwhelming support.
Mafabi, however, condemned what he termed as excessive force by security agencies against voters, particularly supporters of the rival National Unity Platform, NUP.
I think that was very unfortunate, and if that is doing that, in fact, by now, if this country was really under real rule, those are people whom they should have brought to book, because what they did is outside the law. If they don't want elections in Uganda, they should tell us. If Museveni wants to appoint leaders, let him just appoint, and we'll call it a day.
He added that if FDC President General Patrick Amuriat is released from police custody in Soroti, he will join the campaign trail on Tuesday, the final day of campaigning.
You are aware there was a demonstration of the vote of no cow, no vote. Before it could even go further, they were arrested on Friday. They have been in cell even beyond 48 hours. There's also a team there which was trying to secure their release. The moment they release him, I'm sure is going to be here. I think one of the reasons why they are putting him in is they are fearing him to come here to give vibe to this election.
Campaigning concludes on Tuesday, with voting set for Thursday, March 13th. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
The Uganda Police have deployed senior officers to command operations during the Kawempe North constituency by-elections and all the activities that will happen on Thursday this week. The force intends to ensure the elections go free and fair and peacefully, says that the Uganda Police Force, as said by the Uganda Police spokesperson, Uganda Police spokesperson, Assistant Commissioner of Police Rustoke Kituma.
As the date for Kawempe North constituency by-elections come closer, police have strategically deployed senior commanders in all 9 parishes to keep law and order.
So we shall be linking these officers to the candidates. Elections are a very challenging exercise. Sometimes they can explode into something. It's understandable. But what is most important is for us to have mechanisms of trying to address these discrepancies whenever they arise.
Since the beginning of campaigns in Kawempe, security have been accused of manhandling supporters of the National Unity platform. The criticism has prompted police to change the strategy.
And which we need to get to the depth of what went wrong and see how best to fix it. Yes, they have talked about the actions of our officers. Actually, I would prefer we look at the actions of all actors holistically, because there are so many people who behaved in a manner that discomforted the entire process. With the objective, or the end state should be in how best we can solve these issues.
Meanwhile, the security is yet to release a report on what transpired at the NUP headquarters, where an officer is accused of using excessive force on NUP supporters.
Yes, abantu bagamba, DPC, mumukwate, mukole bwe muti. Ate tumanye engeri gye tujja okuhandolingamu ensonga eyo, naye nga tetufunye ebiragiro okuva mu bantu kinoomu. Kutubulira diro tulina okukwata ono, diro tulina okukola kino. Tumanye ekyokukola.
Furthermore, security has launched investigations into the alleged abduction of Charles Sibukenya, known as Muvawala, also a NUP supporter.
I have given the extent of our engagement with Mr. Muvawala, how we interacted with his driver, and how best we can interact with him if we are to arrive at a logical finding in respect to this speculation. So the police position is very clear. I cannot accuse him of what I am not sure of. Neither should police be accused of what we didn't do. If there is evidence that we are the ones who did it, you bring it out.
Police is calling for public calmness ahead of the Kawempe North constituency by-election scheduled for 13th of March 2025. Security-public collaboration is expected to minimize ugly scenes and unnecessary confrontations. Abdunasin Luwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Nkowe High School. Na wana tufunye wo muwanguzi wa MTN Momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, uwuloti mutima kati.
Banange sanyu byenye nali amochi wago nyanjaga nyango amali walonze erinyo.
Eshishi?
Njani awangula school fees.
Eza Momo.
Eza Momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Okumala mwaka mulamba ndi musanyu.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwene yaza ne yaze.
Wanje?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Nkubiriza muzadde munange yonna gy'oli. Wallahi sasulia school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Tukwaniriza waka eri ebisanyusa. Eri Wi-Fi buli wamu. Eri speedi za internet eza waggulu. Eri obukuumi. Eri obuyambi obuli mu ddaala erisooka. Eri okwanguyirizibwa. Tukwaniriza waka eri MTN Wakanet, intaneti ensukulumu eri buli maka. Kyalira www.mtn.co.ug kasali Wakanet. Tukwaniriza waka nga tuli wamu tewali kitulema.
Mera ngenze mboni pa Sam nazanya luto ganyiga star 278 then hash kujja kubanga oyingire mu kazannyo nga sente zino zimula wano zina wangu lazino wano milioni 10 ebindi nasooka bilaba ku TV nange saasoka kikiriza ninga mulaye kino kinzo kubanga kituufu oba yaddala tibya bufere sente zona zifunye zona zikoze ki naziwangudde amasanyu nina mangi ebyoto byange byembadde njagala ngenda bituukiriza.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory.
Thank you so much for watching. Now, every Monday, we have our front bench program where we have discussions with ministers and different officials from government that we normally host and get information from government about different programs and how they are going to be rolled out to the public. My colleague Jethro Kasaiji is ready to host this evening's edition, and as newsroom we want to hand over to him. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakoni. We'll get back here at 10 p.m. Yes, Jethro.
Well, thank you so much, my colleague Micheal Jordan Lukomwa. Like you've seriously stated it out, that this is a platform where we host leaders that matter a lot, but they also do a lot when it comes to issues shaping our nation. Welcome to the front bench, but of course you can be part of this conversation using the hashtag UBC front bench, but also we shall have our WhatsApp number, that is 0709602592. Now, on that very number, you will be in position to send in your questions as well as messages. Now, tonight, first of all, last week, we celebrated the International Women's Day. Now, tonight, I'm glad that the guests that I have, they are women. And these are ladies that are at the helm of a certain ministry. We are talking issues energy. We are talking issues oil and gas. We need to understand, by 1st April next month, UEDCL will also be taking it from Umeme. So we are talking matters Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. We also need to understand what government has done to ensure that it harnesses our resources for development. Tonight, I do host the Honorable Minister for the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Honorable Dr. Canon Ruth Nankabirwa. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Jethro, and good evening, viewers.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I also do have the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry, Engineer Irene Batebe. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Jethro. Good evening, dear viewers.
Well, now, these are the ladies that are at the helm of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, so we shall be understanding what government is doing, what are some of the challenges they are facing to ensure that they provide services to Ugandans, what needs to be done to ensure that your house has electricity. We also need to understand the government promised this very year we shall be starting our oil production. How ready are they? What is left? What needs to be done? My name is Jethro Kaseiji. For now, it's time for Unity.
Oh, Uganda.